Lucas Rosario was an award-winning actor, a name that echoed across the entertainment industry. Every performance he gave was a masterpiece. Every role he embodied left audiences spellbound. But outside the camera's lens, he was different. He was reserved, intense, and fiercely possessive of the one person who mattered most to him. That person was his wife, Jana Williams. A globally recognized dancer and mentor, she was grace and passion personified. Her performances were a spectacle, mesmerizing to watch, and her influence in the world of dance was undeniable. But beyond her talent, she was also the only one who could make Lucas feel like a mere man, vulnerable to love, craving her presence like an addict craving his next fix. Their marriage had been a whirlwind, hurried and unexpected. But despite the rush, their wedding was nothing short of magnificent. The entire entertainment industry had celebrated their union, calling them the golden couple. Yet if people believed Lucas was the epitome of a gentle, doting husband, they were sorely mistaken. Lucas was a man of contrasts. He was gentle in his every action except in bed. He was kind to everyone but Jana. And that was because Jana was mischievous, always pushing his buttons, always making him lose his carefully crafted restraint. She had a way of getting under his skin, making him burn with jealousy, making him want to claim her again and again, just to remind her who she belonged to. And now he had been away from her for 2 weeks for a film shoot. 2 weeks felt like an eternity when it came to his wife. But what hurt more was that she hadn't called him, not even once. Worse, she hadn't even picked up his calls. And the most painful part? Today is his birthday, and she hadn't wished him. Lucas sighed as he looked out the window of his moving car, fingers tapping against his phone's screen, refreshing his call log for the 100th time. Still no missed calls, no texts, no voice notes. "Damn it, baby," he muttered under his breath, feeling frustration bubble inside him. He knew why she was sulking. He had been too rough with her the night before he left, too impatient, too blinded by jealousy. It wasn't her fault, but she always managed to push him to the edge. At a recent show, fans had been raving about her outfit, the way she danced with effortless seduction, the way she moved. His Jana, his wife, flaunting that sinful body for the world to see. And worst of all, there were comments about her curves, about her legs, about her... Lucas clenched his jaw, his grip tightening around his phone. He hated it when others talked about her like that. She was his, only his. He knew he had been too harsh, ignoring her protests, making her cry in his arms, and instead of staying to comfort her, he had left for his shoot, leaving her alone when she needed him the most. "You messed up big this time, Lucas," he whispered to himself. "You better listen to her no from now on." Now, sitting in his car as it pulled into the driveway of their villa, he took a deep breath, trying to think of a way to coax her. She could be stubborn when she wanted to, but he was prepared to do anything. "Finally, I can see her," Lucas whispered to himself as he stepped out of the car. A rare smile touched his lips, one that belonged to no one else but her. Lucas entered their bedroom with quiet steps, his heart pounding as he took in the sight before him. Jana was curled up in bed, hugging a pillow, her face hidden from view. But he could hear her soft sniffles, see the faint tremble in her shoulders. His heart clenched. His wife, his beautiful, lively Jana, looked like a kicked puppy, her sadness filling the room like an unbearable weight. "Jana," he called softly. Her body tensed, but she didn't turn to look at him. Lucas moved forward quickly, kneeling beside the bed, cupping her face with gentle hands. When she finally met his gaze, his breath hitched. Her dark brown eyes were filled with unshed tears, her lips trembling. "Baby, what's wrong?" he asked, his voice laced with concern. Jana swallowed hard, her fingers gripping his shirt weakly. "Honey," she whispered, using the affectionate term she always used when she was vulnerable, when she needed him the most. Lucas's entire body went rigid with worry. He had only ever heard her like this when she was sick or in pain. And the thought that he had left her alone when she needed him made guilt crash over him like a tidal wave. "Are you hurt?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Tell me, baby, where does it hurt?" Jana shook her head. "Not hurt." Lucas frowned. "Then what is it?" She hesitated before looking down. "I spent the whole day trying to find the perfect gift for you," she murmured, her voice filled with uncertainty. "But I thought, maybe you wouldn't want it." Lucas let out a soft chuckle, relief washing over him. So that was it? His silly, overthinking wife. "Why wouldn't I want your gift? I've been waiting all day, just for you, just to hear from you," Lucas said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Jana bit her lip. "But..." Lucas smiled, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Even hearing your voice is gift itself. If my baby worries so much about my gift, then my baby's body itself is my favorite gift. Why won't my baby offer herself to me as gift?" Lucas teased Jana with a light smirk. Jana's face flushed. Hearing Lucas, she pushed him away, trying to calm her racing heart. "I don't dare," Jana whispered softly, trying to get away from Lucas, remembering how her husband went harsh over her last time because of some nasty comments over the internet. "Just kidding. Don't run away, baby," Lucas said, pulling Jana over his lap, who was trying to get away from him. "Then, where's my gift?" Lucas softly demanded with a smile as he held Jana over his lap. Jana lowered her gaze, hesitant. Then slowly, she placed his hand on her stomach. Lucas froze. A current of shock ran through him, his breath catching in his throat. His eyes snapped to hers, wide and disbelieving. You, he stammered, unable to find the words. Jana nodded, worry flickering across her face. I found out yesterday, but I wasn't sure if you'd be happy," she admitted, her voice trembling. For a moment, Lucas couldn't move. His mind had gone completely blank. And then, it hit him. His wife, his love, the center of his entire world. She was carrying their baby. A strangled breath left his lips. And without another thought, he crushed her into his embrace, his arms tightening around her as if he never wanted to let go. Tears burned in his eyes, falling freely down his face as he buried his head in her shoulder. "God, baby, his voice broke. "I need this gift. I want it more than anything." Jana let out a soft, relieved sob, wrapping her arms around him. "You really mean it?" Lucas pulled back, cupping her face in his hands. "More than anything in this world," he whispered before sealing his promise with a deep, lingering kiss. He kissed her with everything he had, pouring his love, his regret, his longing into that single moment. It had only been 2 weeks, but he had starved for her, ached for her, and now, knowing she carried his child, his entire being burned with an emotion too big for words. When they finally broke apart, Jana's face was flushed, her eyes dazed. Lucas pressed his forehead against hers, his fingers stroking her stomach reverently. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for giving me the best gift in the world." Jana smiled through her tears, her hands coming up to cradle his face. "Happy birthday, honey." Lucas let out a soft chuckle before capturing her lips again. It was the happiest birthday of his life. And he knew from this moment on, nothing in the world could ever compare to the family they were about to create.